Right. Take a as spring bean scope. Take a as spring bean scope. Spring bean scope. Let me share my screen. Spring bean scope. Spring bean scope. Spring bean scope. Spring bean scopes refers 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 to the life cycle to the life cycle to the life cycle of bean to the life cycle of bean to the life cycle of bean the life cycle of bean that means that means that means when the object of bean will be instantiated, that means when the object of bean will be instantiated, that means when the object of bean will be instantiated, comma, how long does the object live? How long does the object live, comma, and how many objects will be created, and how many objects will be created for that bean, for that bean. Stop. And how many objects will be created for that bean. Full stop. Basically, comma, it controls the instance. Basically, comma, it controls the instance. Basically, comma, it controls the instance creation of the bean, creation of the bean, creation of the bean, and it is managed by the Spring container, and it is managed by the Spring container. The following are different bean scopes. The following are different bean scopes. Number one, singleton. Number one, singleton. Number one, singleton. When we declare the scope as singleton, when we declare the scope as singleton, when we declare scope as singleton, only one instance will be created. Only one instance will be created. Only one instance will be created for a single bean definition. Only one instance will be created for a single bean definition. per Spring IoC container. Per Spring IoC container. Per Spring IoC container. And the same object will be shared and same object will be shared and same object will be shared for each request made for that bean, and the same object will be shared for each request made for that bean. Full stop. Full stop. It is a default scope. It means singleton. Singleton scope is a default scope. Singleton scope is a default scope of Spring Bean. Underline the statement. Definitely question they'll ask you. What is the default scope of a Spring Bean? So singleton is a default scope for a Spring Bean. Singleton is the default scope of a bean. Full stop. It is not necessary. It is not necessary. Underline the statement and continue. It is not necessary to configure. It is not necessary to configure. It is not necessary to configure scope attribute for singleton scope. For singleton scope, it is not necessary to configure scope attribute for singleton in the XML file. In the XML file. In the XML file. It is not necessary to configure scope attribute in the XML file. Right. Now, what do you mean by that? Okay. So I have created one project, Spring Singleton Scope, then src com singleton. Now I'll create one bean. You know very well, all the Pojo classes in Spring is called as Spring Bean. Okay. Let's say I'm having account or saving account. Finish it off. Right. So every Pojo class, every Java class in Spring is called as Spring Bean. Okay. So let me give some property for that class. Okay. Or for that bean. So private. Okay. String account holder name. Private string branch name. Private string city name. Right. Now, right click, source, generate, getters and setters. Select all, finish it off. Right. So now I have a bean, okay, saving account, and I'm having these properties. Now, I have to have one XML file, correct? In that, I have to define the bean ID, correct? Right?
Yes, sir.
For each of the bean. Right. Now let's go for it. Okay. Let's go for the bean ID. Okay. So bean. Right. Now ID equals to, let's say, account bean. class is equals to com dot singleton, com dot singleton, okay, dot saving account. So this ID is mapped to this bean. Okay. What is the attribute? Scope is the attribute. What I'm trying to explain you? Singleton. Singleton. As I told you, this attribute is not necessary for singleton. I'll prove it later. Okay. Right. Now, give the property name. Account. Copy this. And give the property name. Account holder name. Value. Give the value. Let's say Mohammed, M-O-H-A, Mohammed, K-A-M-R-A-N, Kamran. Right. Now again go for it. Property name equals to branch name. Okay. Value equals to, let's say, Raichur branch. R-A-I-C-H-U, Raichur branch. And again, property name equals to city name. Copy. City name. Value equals to R-A-I-C-H-U, Raichur city. Right. So I'm using setter injection to set the value for those properties because I'm using the property tag. If I want to go for constructor injection, I have to use constructor arg, correct? And value,
Yes.
correct? Right. Now, in order to call this bean, what is the method I have to use?
Get bin.
What I have to use?
Get bin method.
Sorry, get bean method, right? Saving account details. Public static void main, finish it off. Okay. You can use both the, what to say, container, bean factory or application context. Okay. Right. So E dot print stack trace. E dot print stack trace. Right. Now, if I'm using application context, what is the implementation class?
Class path XML application context.
Very good. Context equals to new class path XML application context. And you have to pass what? The XML file. Singleton dot XML. Right. What is my bean? Saving account is my bean name, correct? Right? Saving account equals to context dot get bean and give the bean name. Account bean. Now this will return the object of object class. So what you have to do? You have to typecast it to your class. Done. First try to print, okay? So SYSO account. Right click, run as array. I have not used the toString method, right? So go for it. Right click, run as, source, generate toString method, generate, Control S, right click, run as Java application. So you got Mohammed Kamran, you got branch, and you got city name, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, how many times I am calling getBean method?
One time.
One time.
One time. Now, what singleton says? What singleton says? What singleton says?
It will create only one object for every request.
How many requests I have passed right now? How many requests I have made?
One,
Only
sir.
one request.
One request, right? Right. Calling one more type the get bean method, okay? Or requesting or calling, both are same, okay? Requesting or calling one more time the get bean method. What is the, for an example, what is the account holder name here?
Mohammed Kamran.
Mohammed Kamran. Now see what I am doing. Account 1, okay? Account 1. Sorry, or account dot set account holder name. Okay? MOHA Muhammad ZESHN Zishan. I'm now again setting the value for Muhammad Zishan. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Previously, what was the name? Muhammad Kamran.
Mohammed Kamran.
Right? Now I'm setting a new name for the account holder. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Right? I'll add one more time. Okay? Account dot set branch name HYDRABD Hyderabad branch account dot set city name HYDRABD Hyderabad city. I have set the value explicitly for account, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now see here what I'm doing. I'll just give some meaningful name, okay? Account 1, account 1, account 1, account 1. Now I have explicitly set the value for account 1 object with all these details, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right? Now I'll create one more object, okay? I'll create one more object. So saving account 2, okay, equals to context dot get b. So account b. Now at this line, I'm making one more request, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Correct? And I'm creating one more bean object, bean instance, correct?
Yes, sir.
Everyone following? Everyone following?
Yes.
Right? Now tell me, already I have changed the value of account 1.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now if I call account 2 dot get account holder name, what should be the value? Account 2. Already I am setting the value for the account holder, the branch name, the city. That means the data is changed, correct? Right?
Yes, sir.
Now I am again creating the new object, new instance, correct?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
I am creating a new instance, correct?
Yes.
Right? Now what happens? Tell me. Will I get the Mohammed Zishan or will I get, what to say, Mohammed Kamran?
I think Muhammad Kamran.
Mohammed Kamran.
Why?
Because file bean instantiation, it is adding the value of Muhammad Kamran in the XML file.
Right? Okay. Now see here, SYSO account 2. Let me just put it. Sorry. Let me just put it so you can understand. You will now see the difference, okay? If you see here, Mohammed Kamran, correct? Right? Right, everyone?
Yes.
Mohammed Kamran? Why Mohammed Disha? Why Mohammed Disha is coming? Account 2. What I'm calling? Account 2. Account 1 it is set. Why Mohammed Disha is coming? So account 1 I am calling, right?
Account one is printing before setting the values.
Account one is printing?
Before setting the values, you are not printed after setting.
Thank you. Control X, Control V. Now if you see here, now I have set the value for account 1, Mohammed Zishan, account 1, branch, Hyderabad branch, account 1, Hyderabad city. But actually what I have given here, Mohammed Kamran, Raichur branch, and Raichur city, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, I'll just remove this. You get confused. Here, account 1, I'm displaying account 1 details. So, actually I'm setting the value for Mohammed Zishan, Hyderabad and Hyderabad city, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, it should display Mohammed Zishan, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Now save it, right click, run as Java application. Arey yaar, what is happening? Why it is happening? So I'm
We are
getting
getting
this.
homogenition.
Sorry, come again?
It's correct, right?
No, singleton means only one object will be created, correct? Okay, let me just change it. Mohammed Zishan I am giving, okay, account 1 dot get account holder name. Okay, so account 1 dot get account holder name, it should come to Mohammed Kamran. Okay, I got Mohammed Zishan. I'll create one more object. Okay, I'll create one more object. So saving account, Control C, Control V, account 2, okay, creating a new object. And now with the new object I'm calling, okay. So SYSO, creating with a new object, okay. Account 2 dot get account holder name. So right click, run as Java application. See here, correct?
Yes.
Understanding everyone? Even though I have given Mohammed Kamran, okay? Okay, I'll just show you. I'll remove this. I'll comment this. I'll comment this as well. And I'll comment this as well. Tell me account 1 dot get account holder name. What value you will get?
Mohammed Kamran.
Run this application. Why? Because you're calling it from the XML file, property, name, value is Mohammed Kamran, correct? Right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is my first request, get it. Now what I'm doing, I'm changing the account holder name from Mohammed Kamran to Mohammed Zishan, correct?
Yes.
Right? Okay. Now what it will print? It will print Mohammed Zishan. Okay? Because you have changed the value from Mohammed Kamran to Mohammed Zishan. That means I am making first request with getBean. Okay. Now at line number 20, what I am doing? I am calling one more getBean request, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
That means a new account 2 object will be created, correct?
Yes.
A new bean object will be created, correct? At this call, a new bean, it should be right? It should be creating new instance of saving account bean. It should be as per the notes, correct? As per the notes, whenever you're calling getBean method, it will create the instance of that particular bean. Now, I'm calling one more request, getBean method, and then that means this account bean is mapped to this class, and this account holder name is Mohammed Kamran, correct? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what it should display? As per the logic, it should display Mohammed Kamran, correct? Right?
Yes, sir.
But it will not, what to say, create, it will not call Mohammed Kamran. What it will call? It will call Mohammed Zishan. Now run as Java application. Got it?
Yes.
Clear everyone? Clear?
Yes.
How many calls I have made? How many requests I have made here?
Two
Two, sir.
requests.
2 requests. Again see here, request get bean method one more time. Now saving account 3 equals to context dot get b. Pass it account b. Typecast it. Now again SYSO account 3 dot get account holder name. Right click, run as Java application. Mohammed Zishan, Mohammed Zishan, Mohammed Zishan. Irrespective of the request you are making, you are getting the same instance, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Everyone understanding?
Yes.
Understanding? Okay. Now see here what I am doing. I want to prove that account 1 object is same, account 2 object is same, and account 3 object is same, correct?
Yes.
Correct? Only one object is getting created, correct? Right. Now see here what I am doing. SYSO. Okay. So account 1 equals to account 2. Check whether both are equals or not, means same object or not. Account 1 equals to account 3. We should get for both true, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right? Got it?
Yes.
Right? When you declare a scope as singleton, no matter how many times you request that bean, you will get the same instance of the bean. Clear everyone? Clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Clear? Right. Now, I have given you the notes saying that it is not mandatory to configure scope attribute for singleton because by default, the scope of a bean is a singleton in Spring, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
Perfect. Now see here, I am removing this. Did I use scope attribute here?
No, sir.
No.
No. Now I will change it to so that you can understand, okay? Right. Mohammed Irfan. Right click, run as Java application. Got it?
Yes, sir.
That means it is not mandatory to use scope attribute if you want to have a singleton scope for a bean. Clear with the notes? Clear with the explanation? Clear with this program?
Yes, sir.
Right. Any questions?
No.
Right. Right. Now let me share this and you please share in the group. Okay. So chat, file, computer, Java workspace, October, singleton, SRC, Control A. Your computer, go back, Go back. Singleton. Right. Clear with singleton scope, everyone?
Clear, sir.
Right. No matter how many times you call or you request get bean method, you will get the same instance for that bean because by default, the bean scope is singleton. And it is not mandatory that you should declare this attribute, single singleton. If you give it, well and good. If you don't give, it will treat it as a by default singleton scope for that particular bean. Am I clear with this explanation?
Yes.
Perfect. Next, prototype. Next, prototype. Second, prototype. Definitely they'll ask you what is the difference between singleton scope and prototype scope. And also they'll ask you what is the default scope for a Spring bean. So both I'm telling you, I'm giving the notes and I'm explaining, okay? Right, prototype. The right like this. In prototype scope, in prototype scope, in prototype scope, in prototype scope, every time a new instance will be created, every time a new instance will be created for a single bean definition. For a single bean definition. For a single bean definition, whenever we call get bean method, whenever we call get bean method, or whenever we request get bean method, whenever we call get bean method, or whenever we request get bean method, whenever we call get bean method, or whenever we request get bean method. Full stop. Full stop. We must configure, we must configure scope equals to prototype, we must configure scope is equals to prototype attribute in XML file. In XML file. Taken, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now, go for it. Before that, you just take this DB script for Spring Security. Stop. And you share it in the WhatsApp group. Right. Download and send this in your in the group. Okay. Right. Now in prototype, what I have told you? In prototype, what I have told you?
Different object will be created for every request.
Right. Whenever you request a get bean method, every time a new instance will be created. Correct? Right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Now, Go for it. Right click, close all. Right, prototype. Right click, new class customer. Customer. Finish it off. I'll use only one instance. If you want, you can use many instances. It's up to you. Okay. Right. Now, private string cust name. Cust name. Okay. Right click, source, generate getters and setters, and generate. Done. Okay. Control S. Now, go for it. Prototype XML. Now I have to use bean definition, correct? Bean, what to say, bean tag, correct?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right. Go for it. So, bean ID equals to customer bean. Class is equals to com dot prototype dot customer. Right. Now, which scope I have to use?
Prototype.
Prototype. Scope equals to prototype. Now, since I'm using setter injection, so I have to use property tag. Name equals to cust name. Value equals to ship. Okay? Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, call that using application context or bean factory. Now, if I want to use bean factory, what should be I should be following? So, customer details. Public static void main, finish it. So if I want to use bean factory container, what I should be following?
XML bean factory is the
Factory.
actually implementation class.
Before what I have to do?
Resource object.
Resource, we need to create the resource.
Resource, R-E-S-O-U-R-C, resource. Resource is equals to new, what?
Class
Class
path resource.
path
Class path resource.
resource. And give the XML file, prototype.xml. Right. Then bean factory is equals to new XML bean factory and pass the resource object. What is my bean name? What is my bean class?
Customers.
Customer.
Customer cust1 is equals to factory dot get bean. Customer bean. Get bean method will return the object of object class, typecast it to your bean. First display it, okay? SYSO customer name plus cust1 dot get customer name. What value I should get?
Shivs.
Shape. Right click, run as Java application. Got it?
Yes.
Right? Okay. Now, I will change it the value. Cust1 dot set Karthik. Right click, run as Java application. Why? Because you have said that. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? How many times I have made the request for get bean?
Only one time.
One time, sir.
Request get bean method. Okay, request get bean method. Once again, customer cust2 is equals to factory dot get bean. This is a new request.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What type of scope it is?
Prototype.
Prototype.
What value you have set for customer?
Karthik, sir.
Now see what it will display. Customer name plus cust2 dot get customer name. Right click, run as Java application. What happened? Oh, customer. Right click, run as Java application. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So every time a new instance of customer bean is getting created. Why? Why? Because you have declared the scope as a
Prototype.
prototype. Now see again. SYSO cust1 equals to cust2. In this case, what you should be? You should get
False.
False.
right click, run as Java application. Got it?
Yes, sir.
That means both the beans are different. Every time in prototype, when you request get bean method, every time a new instance will be created for the Spring bean. Am I clear with singleton? Am I clear with prototype?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any questions? Any questions? Please ask me. I'll be happy to answer your question. Clear? Clear with singleton and prototype?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Perfect. Right. Now I share this as well. You can go through it. Okay. You please share this in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So your computer. So go back. Java workspace. Prototype. Definite question in your interview. What is the default scope of a Spring Bean singleton? Is it mandatory to provide that attribute? No mandatory. It's not mandatory. But in prototype, yes, it is mandatory. You have to configure scope at scope equals to prototype attribute in your XML file. Take this prototype. Taken everyone?
Yes, sir.
So this was all about the Spring, how to say, bean scope. Okay. So we'll go for the project Spring security explanation tomorrow. Maybe depend upon the timing. I'll just provide that. With that, you can join. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Fine. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.